there was actually a lot happening in the sports world. News stories, events happening as well too.
You say there was a lot?
All things considered, like
Eh,
NBA's in the middle of the season where nothing really matters right now. It's starting to matter, but like top
that's what I mean.
four
Like
teams
there hasn't
matter.
been that much news
Well, like NFL's irrelevant now, but
other
there's
than the
still some good
question.
news in the. Well, I guess there's some good stories to come out from the NFL this week that we'll discuss. Um, Golf is just getting back into the swing of things. The Genesis Open down at beautiful Riviera.
You're talking as if you watched it.
I watched the highlights of it.
Yeah, because you seen him on Twitter.
Yeah, from the sports page. That's why you go follow the sports page. That wind was ridiculous, though. Did you see Justin
Yeah,
Thomas trying to hit the shot?
yeah. Well, him and was it John Ram hitting the fucking boomerang shots on? It was insane. Or that one guy who hit a putt and the ball just fucking rolled off the green because the wind. I would be pissed.
So when we were playing 2K21 on your course and that was happening, and we're like, this is stupid. This doesn't happen. You don't putt up to the hole and the ball come back to you. Well,
Turns out
that course proved us wrong. Like,
it really does happen.
oh my gosh, and it's just like it didn't like the ball just stopped on the collar and it would just roll down the green.
No,
Like
it's
it
just,
rolled down, and it so happened to roll right between two perfectly placed bunkers. Just rolled
yeah.
right between them all the way down. Like
I'd be pissed,
shitty
man.
luck.
Like at
And then
least roll into the bunker. Like, fuck.
there, did you see what happened to the one player on the ground? I forget who it was, but this was just before they sounded or
Yeah.
they ended the round. He was lining up his putt, and as he's lining up his putt, his hat blows off, so he pulls back, and then the wind just moves his ball as well too.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
oh
I was gonna
my
say that too.
gosh.
Ball literally just started rolling. I'm like, does this count as my shot, or like, how does this work?
Literally. Imagine if you teed it up on the tee and then
That
the
fell
wind
off.
blew it over.
I don't think that would count as a stroke though. That's wind.
See, and I
That's not
think the
you.
problem it's if you address the ball. If you are behind the ball and you have addressed the ball, your club's down, you're ready to hit, and then it happens, I think so. But if you address the ball and then you step back and then it happens, I don't think it's your fault.
Yeah, I don't think like you can't blame someone for that. Like, but like, but like obviously they suspended. But that was fucking brutal wind. Like,
I'm
couldn't
happy I was not.
imagine trying to
Yeah,
play in that.
I'm happy I didn't have to play in that one. Like, oh my gosh.
It was comparable when we were at our dust storm out in fucking what's
Ooh,
that black
Cold
bunker
Creek? No,
course? Yeah, Cold Creek.
Coke. That doesn't sound right.
I,
But
I
I think
don't
it's
know
right
what.
though.
I think that's what it is.
I think it is. Good golf
We're
course. I'm
fucking
excited.
walking up to the ninth hole. Yeah, you see dust coming.
I, I remember. I think I was hitting like a 5-iron onto the green because that wind was so strong, and I remember. I vividly remember this because I hadn't lost a ball all around, and I was playing really good. And it was those pink balls I had, and ball was going straight. I hit it flush. I'm like, this could be good. The wind's gonna, stop. It's gonna land on the green, and then all of a sudden it just starts to go left a bit, and then you can just see the wind just take it into the water. I'm
Just
just like,
see you later.
no, that was my pink ball. But forgot to crack our drinks,
Oh
Tyler.
yeah. Well,
Oh my gosh, do we just have to restart this whole podcast now? Cheers.
we haven't really talked about anything that fucking important. Right?
No, not really, except for
Not that any
golf.
of this is
I'm
important.
excited for golf season though this year. I am excited. I'm enthusiastic for golf.
I can't wait for fucking golf season.
It's gonna be a good time. Um, we'll switch gears. Let's talk about something we've never talked about before. What NASCAR event was that this weekend?
That was the Daytona Road Course. Do you want the actual full sponsorship name?
Yes, I feel like this is gonna be interesting.
Because they're all fucking named sponsored. Like, where the fuck is it? That was. Where the fuck is it? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah. Like. Okay, well, never mind that. I don't know where. I don't know why I can't find it. It's the
Can you
Daytona
just
Road
not read
Course,
it?
though.
You want me to Google it really quickly here? Daytona Road Course.
Oh, O'Reilly Auto Parts 253 at Daytona.
Oh, that was a lot less interesting than what I had anticipated.
Yeah, no,
Actually.
it's nothing great.
Oh damn! I thought it was gonna be like the Home Depot O'Reilly Rona
There's
2000 sponsored by Firestone. Like it's just a
no,
list of advertisements. Who
I mean,
won?
that would be.
I guess it's
I
probably right here.
don't remember what his first name is.
Christopher Bell captures his first career cup.
Yeah, Christopher Bell.
So what's the
Yeah, so-
difference between the ones that go in circles and the one that have a right turn involved, like this one? Is this like a whole different category, or is it all clumped together?
No, they're still all like the same series. Like they're still same people. They have different cars and different setups. Like the one before is Daytona. It's a super speedway, and then there's shorter ones where they like shorter ovals where they use different cars. And then this year, they're having a dirt track oval race also, which
And
is
this is
going
all
to
with
be
the same.
fantastic.
Was this gonna be
Yeah.
all the same drivers then?
Yeah,
Really?
there's a Cup series,
What,
there's an Infinity series, and there's a Truck series.
what cars do they have to use for the off road? Like, do they have to use something completely different, or?
I have no idea. I've never witnessed a NASCAR dirt race, but
Huh.
they're pretty much using the same cars. Obviously, different setup. I don't know what or
Mhm.
how,
Mm-hmm.
but it's gonna be sick. Like that road course, there was an insane amount of fucking crashes and people just fucking
Yeah.
driving into the dirt and spinning out.
And see, with my thing, I love racing games, like racing car games. Love that stuff. My thing with NASCAR is it just gets boring watching people go around circles and circles. Like I'm there, as bad as it sounds, to watch crashes. I
Yeah.
watch monster trucks because there's crashes, there's violence, there's something to watch. But like NASCAR's just it circles and circles. And then granted, good crashes happen, but I feel like NASCAR's
It's
would, for myself, would be something more interesting to do than to watch.
so especially like so road courses are more interesting to watch. Obviously, the dirt race will obviously probably be more interesting to watch for like your average. But like if you're actually into it and you like certain people, it's good. It does get boring throughout the middle parts when it's just someone leading and like everyone's kind of spread out.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the starts and the finishes are the best parts. That's really it.
Everything in the middle is just useless then.
It's not useless, but for an average viewer, it's not exciting.
Hey man, that's fair. Um, what do you think about that video that went live about Cam Newton? Do
I
you like?
can't believe I don't know if he's a high school or college kid thinks you can talk shit to Cam Newton.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who the fuck are you, first of all, and who the fuck do you think you are talking shit to a former NFL MVP? You have
Literally,
zero right.
literally, man. It's just like it's. I don't know, like it. The words can't describe the stupidity. It's like you're a high school kid. You see Cam Newton. Like if I was in high school and I saw something like that, I'd be like,
I'd
"Holy
be too scared to
shit, bro!"
talk to him. Never mind shit talk him.
Literally, man. Like, oh my gosh. But then like I heard them say that, I'm like, and like part of me wants to be like knock him out, but then also part of me like, well, he doesn't even need to retaliate because like the kid's just stupid. Like you don't need
Yeah,
to
that's
retaliate to somebody just making something up, right? Like Cam Newton is not a trash quarterback.
no.
Like
And I'm pretty sure the kid got roasted live on Twitter for it too because he issued an apology today.
yeah, I saw that actually. So
Which
do,
I don't know the kid personally, but in my view, that's the most fake shit ever that he just did because someone probably told him to like, hey, you gotta apologize because you can't be doing that shit, and B,
mhm.
because he got roasted alive by everyone on Twitter saying, why the fuck are you roasting Cam Newton? You're an idiot.
Oh my gosh, literally. And it's not like he was roasting, I don't know, man, like Jared Goff or like a quarterback who hasn't really done
I
anything.
mean, Jared Goff has a job right now. Cam Newton doesn't.
That's true. That's true. That's a good point. Do you think Cam Newton's gonna get signed?
He should get sent somewhere.
Mhm.
A lot of people think he's gonna go back to New England, but I don't see that happening. I don't know where he goes though. Like
Mhm.
he wasn't. He started off the year good last year, but he wasn't great, especially second half.
Well, New England just didn't let him throw the ball.
Do you know who the receivers are?
That's true. That they had nobody. Like they did
Like,
not
could
have
you
a
name
good
me one
team.
of their receivers?
I think one of them
Exactly.
wore number 80.
That doesn't. Can't just say their number.
Yeah, no, I know. But like, I don't know. It's just he had no help. Like he was the
No,
Patriots team. Like they didn't necessarily have a good defense
no,
either.
yeah, he definitely had no help, but like
Hmm.
they're not getting any more help this offseason either on offense. The defense should be better because they had like 5 people opt out that were starters last year,
Yeah,
but I don't see their offense getting any better.
me neither. I don't know. New England's like a. I mean, I kind of feel bad for Bill Belichick because,
Why?
but not really. But like with people when they talk about how Tom Brady made Bill Belichick, it's like that's not the case. It's like Brady left there
I
because
feel
he
like
knew the situation wasn't going to be stable enough for him to make another
I
championship.
don't
Like you
think
got,
Bill wanted him back here though.
I
But
don't
I
think so.
also feel like they kind of built each other more. Like they worked
Hmm.
out well for each other, and
Yeah,
they built a
they just
great fucking dynasty.
18 years, man,
So
18 years.
how many bad years in a row do you think Belichick would have to get fired?
I don't think he would ever be fired. He would either just become full-time GM and view it as a promotion, even though he's losing his head coaching job as well too, though. Um, but I think if it gets to the point where it's just bad enough, I think they're just gonna ask for him to retire to like save face.
That's what I feel like too. If it was bad enough, they'd just like Bill, you need to fucking retire so we don't have to fire you. And then if
Mhm.
he wants to come back, then like take a year off, and then if he wants to come back, then you can go back and coach somewhere else.
Exactly, yeah, 100%. But I don't know. I don't think
But
he's
like
proved that he's not the problem, though. I think he could have 3 or 4 down years before anything's like,
I
okay,
say,
maybe
but if
we
they go
do need
like
to.
5-10, 4-11 the next 2 years,
I think I don't know. I just don't see it. Like if you have somebody who wins for 18 years and then he has 2 bad years, 3 bad
no, yeah,
years,
that's
it's
fair.
like, does that really justify firing him? Unless it's like a whole, well, it's just no, it's a new leaf. Let's try something new, right? I can understand that, but I don't know. I don't think he never deserves to get fired. He could have that job for 10 years and be trash and he deserves it still.
Yeah, I don't think Robert Kraft will fire him either. I think,
I don't think so
but they
either though.
probably
Yeah.
he knows how good he is. You're
True.
not finding another Bill Belichick.
God no. So now that we're on the New England Patriots, this is something we promoted last week for those like 2
Did
listeners.
did we promote it?
I think we talked about it a bit, yeah.
I think
Who is the greatest of all time? Many say it's Tom Brady, and recent like events have showed that he deserves. He's 43 years old. He's a 7-time champion in the most competitive era ever of football.
yeah.
He's made 10 out of 21 Super Bowls. He has a better Super Bowl ratio than Steph Curry's 3-point shot.
I've been that's insane. There's a better
It's
chance of
ridiculous.
Tom Brady making the Super Bowl than there is of Steph Curry making a 3-pointer.
What do you think? Do you think
They're
Tom
both
Brady,
guarantees. They're both fucking guarantees.
both guarantees? Do you think Tom Brady's the greatest? I think we can both agree on that he is the greatest football player of all time.
Yeah, like in greatest. He's not the most athletic guy out there, but overall he's the best quarterback and best football player ever. He leads
Correct.
almost all quarterback statistics,
Hmm.
pretty much all
Minus
of
like
them.
pass yards.
Which is he not? I don't know if him and Breeze were going back and forth for a while. They were switching,
But Breeze
but
doesn't have it though.
yeah, it's Breeze.
Is it?
Yeah, for pass yards, yeah, they were
Really?
going back and forth with each other this year, passing each other.
But what do you think? So I'm assuming you think Tom Brady is the greatest of all time athlete out of all leagues, or what's your opinion on that?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of hard to compare like league to league because like it doesn't really matter, and you can only really go team sports. But yeah, I think so. He's the most dominant of any of them. You can't. You can talk about some of the former NHL Montreal Canadiens players that have like 11 Stanley Cups, but that's only when there's 6 teams in the league.
Hmm.
So I don't really count that. And like just now in this modern era, no one's dominated like this ever. Never mind in this era when there's not really any dynasties anymore.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. So, like when I was thinking about GOATs, you know, you got to think about who has the most championships. And then there's
And
Bill Russell, 11 championships. But in an era when there was only how many teams, right?
yeah, I didn't know how many teams there were back then.
Yeah, I don't know either. But let's just take it for granted the NBA was such a like the fact that he in 1968 and 1961 won a championship as a player and the coach for Boston Celtics.
Yeah, that's
Like, I
just
think
shows
that
you it's not a very
mhm,
not like nowadays. That's not even considered a professional league, probably. Like,
exactly right. So GOAT at the time, Bill Russell though, but just because of time changes, I don't consider him a GOAT. Great player though.
especially because there's just so much more competition now. I feel
hmm And that's the
like
biggest thing.
back.
So and then so that kind of like that's like my big picture thing here at the end of it with my GOAT debate. But I know another person that people bring up is Jerry Rice.
I don't know that one. I don't understand that one.
I think it's just because there's never been a receiver as dominant as him. He holds 36 NFL records, which I think is the most of anybody. 3 times Super Bowl, you know, NFL MVP, Super Bowl MVP. He has 208 touchdowns, all-purpose touchdowns, and he's the only receiver to have more than 20,000 yards, and he has 23,000 yards. The only reason why I would give him the credit to be in the category is because he is a receiver and the ball's not in his hand all the time. You know, he doesn't dictate the
Yeah,
success of it. A lot of it lies on your quarterback. If your quarterback is giving you the ball, you're going to be successful.
but
You know, but
like
you got
he
to earn
still
that
is
though.
talented as shit. Like,
Mhm.
but
But
like
I think the reason that he's maybe considered the greatest athlete of all time is because he's literally one of the greatest athletes, you know, like physical athletes of all time, ahead of his
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Um,
But I don't know how many like records Tom Brady has, but I'm sure it has to be around that number.
it could be. I don't know. He's probably getting up there. It's like 20 or something like that. But different types of records, though, right? Like he's not taking Jerry Rice down for passing yards or receiving yards. You know,
Yeah,
um, another commonly considered GOAT, Michael Jordan.
that's the big one. That's the
That's
one I
the
see compared the most.
mhm.
People are
and
like, "Oh,
and
Michael
I think
Jordan's
what's
goat."
unfortunate with Michael Jordan is like he only had 14 or 15
15 seasons.
15 seasons, right? But he only had those 7 years of just absolute dominance when he dominated a league.
Well, listen, I mean, he didn't win championships when he's by himself in his early
Yeah. But like when he was
career
by
days.
himself though, he proved that he was like the
He
greatest
was a
scorer
great
of all
player.
time.
Yeah,
Right? Like I think the big thing with Michael Jordan is he proved two things. He proved that he could be the biggest scorer when needed. He also showed you he could win. You know, it's like Russell Westbrook kind of where it's like Russell Westbrook showed you how he could score and get all the points, but he
but he
just
can't
has
win.
not shown that he can score yet or win a championship.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing with Michael Jordan though is the footprint he left on the game. You know,
Oh, for sure. Like,
he
no,
was the biggest superstar. He was the first big superstar. You know, like he globalized the NBA. Like I think that's why a lot of people do attach his name to GOAT stats because it's not even what he did on the court; it's what he did off the court. It's what he meant
yes,
for. It's what he
like he
resembled, right?
evolved the game more than anyone else. I would say, like
Mm,
which now I think nowadays Steph Curry's evolved the game of basketball more than anybody else, just
yes.
because of the three.
Mm,
And like you see more people shooting from the logo. Like Dane can do it all the time now. You've seen LeBron try it and airball it. Like the threes just became so much more of a game because of what Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, the Warriors did.
yeah, they made it cool. Like I know Ray Allen could be considered one of the greatest 3-point shooters, or Reggie Miller, but they didn't do it the way Steph Curry's doing it. They're not doing
No,
it from the logo. They're doing it from like 1990s basketball, early 2000s basketball.
but I
But
mean,
you can go.
I just still. Or did you have anything? Do you want to say more about Michael Jordan before we got off tangent there?
Um, not really. I mean, like, I think one thing though you need to take into consideration when you're talking about the greatest athlete of all time is their national championships, their college career. You look at Bill Russell. Bill Russell had 2 national championships, right? So he was just a born winner, period.
No, yeah, for
Michael
sure.
Jordan had one NCAA championship. You know,
How many college seasons did he play though?
3,
Jordan did.
I think so, 2 or 3, I think. Um, so I'm going to bring up one person who I don't think she deserves the GOAT status, but I think she should be in the conversation though. But Serena Williams,
Oh
you know,
no, for sure. But like, I think when you talk about like Tommy, I think you can only talk about. Oh, what a shot! That was insane. So
who
I'm
scored?
watching the Scotties in the background. What a
Oh,
fucking
word.
shot!
Yo, curling slaps.
Curling slaps, but you know what's fucked up?
Mm.
Even women's curling is not nearly as good as men's curling. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But like
That's fine. That's fair. That's fair.
when I'm watching the Briar man, some of the doubles they're shooting, like some of the shots, it's insane. And then you watch women's, they don't hit any doubles.
Mm.
I watched some chick try like open, pretty much open, just had to put a rock near the center, missed the whole fucking house, and like threw it through the back. I'm like, how do you do that? You're a professional.
Yeah, that's fair. I I'll never understand curling. I've tried it a few times and it just doesn't make sense to me. Like just how to stop a rock. That's like that sheet of ice is so long, and you have
It's
to stop
fucking
the rock at the right angle and the right distance. You know, it's like
dude.
it's bad
It
enough
doesn't
with a
make
golf
no
club
sense.
with
Like
like you can
it's
put spin
so
and
hard. I
control it.
well, you do in gym class, obviously,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fun fact: I was on the Otwell curling club for a year. That was fun. I was number one, baby. I don't know why or
Well,
how. I just decided to do
ladies
it.
and gentlemen,
Obviously.
I don't know how I've missed this, but we we have an all-star. We have a goat in the presence. We have, oh my gosh, Tyler Rempel, everybody.
So, but curling is the hardest shit ever.
It's ridiculous, man. I don't get it. And people say golf's the hardest game. It's like, no, curling.
Like anyone could pick up a golf club and fucking
Mm.
hit a ball. Like
Have you
hit a
seen
ball.
have you seen Tommy swing?
Okay, but he can hit a ball. You put Tommy on the ice with a curling rock. That thing's not making it down the ice, bro.
Yeah.
Do you not remember the gym classes where people couldn't even balance to
I
push
know
themselves
exactly
out of
what
the
you mean.
hat to
It's
shoot the?
I think the thing is though, once you get curling though, you are good. You're good to go. Like you can understand, you can play a game. It's not like golf where if you just kind of learn how to play golf, it's like there's always something else. It's your driver start slicing,
Well,
it's your
there's so much
putting,
more to do.
mhm.
Curling, there's
It's
literally
one thing. One
only a
thing,
couple
two
different
things.
things.
Sorry, you got to be able to sweep.
Yeah, like
Um, but yeah, anyways, back to Serena Williams.
yeah, way off topic. I think
23 Grand Slams. Like that's ridiculous.
no, again, she was like Tiger Woods, and where no one else was even close to her for a while. The closest person to her was her sister, and she was only had a couple of good years of dominance.
Okay, we'll have a question then. Would
What?
you consider an individual such as Serena Williams or Tiger Woods, who their sport is an individual, like boxing, MMA, would you consider those people to be considered in the GOAT debate? Or do you reserve the GOAT debate for people on teams?
So, I mean, the goat debate's stupid regardless
True.
because every generation is better than the last generation, anyways.
Hmm.
It's just like because Jordan made basketball so much more popular, the ball more people played it. You start developing better training techniques, all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Like, so obviously LeBron James is a better player than Michael Jordan was, but Michael Jordan did more for basketball probably. So you can't even compare the same sport. How the fuck do I compare someone winning tennis to NBA championships?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
But I mean, if
Um,
you're gonna do it, I think you can do it. You gotta reserve it for team sports and single person sports for single
keep
person
it in two
sports.
different categories then.
Because LeBron can only control what he can control. Like he made it to so many finals, but he couldn't win because he's the only player.
Hmm. Yeah. And it's like you gotta look at who they're going up against too. So I know that like we had talked about like nowadays, like all the leagues are more competitive,
Yeah.
right? Like you had Bill Russell, 11 championships. Like I think he went to the finals 11 times or 12 times or whatever it was.
Well, and they're all leagues are more competitive, but basketball's still the same as where the same people or teams dominating and winning all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, LeBron James. So I think, in my opinion, as it stands right now, LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time. And that's before he retires. And I personally believe that you cannot be GOAT until you're retired.
No,
Because
you
you never
can't.
know
You
what's going to happen the
contradicted
next.
yourself.
I know, but this is like two different terminologies though, where it's like if I had to, I would say he is going to be the greatest of all time once he's retired. But I'm not going to give him that title because he's not retired. He's still playing, right? Like if he goes out there tomorrow with a gun and shoots 3 people on the court, he's not in my GOAT conversation anymore. I'm sorry. Like,
But why does that have to affect what he did on the court?
because I think when you talk about the GOAT debate, and I think Michael Jordan is a perfect example of
Wait,
this.
wait,
It's not necessarily what they do on the court, though. It's what they do off the court. That has to be a factor involved, at least.
does it though? I
I
don't
think
think
so.
so.
I think so. Because if we're doing that, then Michael Jordan shouldn't be the GOAT. Because all he has to his name is 6 championships and you can score like a motherfucker. It's like if
And
you're
the
talking
Jordan
about that,
brand.
oh,
Oh, you're talking
off the
about
court though.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That's an off
Yeah,
court.
but then LeBron has less championships.
But if we're only talking about on court accomplishments, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would be my GOAT.
But no, but then again, you can still relate it to how shitty the competition was back then.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Man, when you watch that Jordan documentary, you realize how bad some people were in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the basketball being played is awful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it was ridiculous, man. Just like, oh, it's a white kid, sign him. He hit threes. Oh, Steve Kerr, sure, sign him.
Like there was some awful basketball back then.
So, all said and done, who is your top three? In no particular
Top
order.
three.
In no particular order.
Well, okay, so the fact that Tom Brady has more Super Bowl wins than any other franchise in the NFL. I'm pretty sure that's a stat.
Yeah, it is.
He also has more Super Bowl MVP trophies than any other QB has won Super Bowls, which, so right there, greatest quarterback all time, no question, if Andrew buts about it.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he's made almost 50% of Super Bowl seasons, how much he wins by, he's proven he can go to another team and still win. Only the second quarterback to ever do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how he's not greatest of all time. LeBron James, I would say second. Third, I don't know. I would say Wayne Gretzky just because how dominant he was.
That's a good one. I didn't even think about Wayne Gretzky,
But like
honestly.
back then too, he still played in an area where goalies were wearing fucking oven mitts for protection. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so it's hard.
The Nets were so much like the Nets just seemed so much bigger, you
The
know.
goalies didn't go down on in a butterfly position. They literally stood on their feet the whole time and threw their pads up in the air. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, he was good. Obviously, he fucking if you took away all of his goals, he'd still have the most points in NHL history. So there's no question about he's the most dominant player ever, especially his era.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same thing with Jordan, where it's the level of competition was not there.
That's fair. Um, so I guess I'll do my top three then. So number one, LeBron James. All said and done. All said and
What
done. If
what puts
after he's
LeBron
retired,
James ahead of Tom Brady for you?
I think LeBron James is going to have 2 more championships before he retires. He'll hit 6, which is like a big thing in
But he's gonna
basketball.
win one at 43.
See, my thing with LeBron James is for his first 10 years, he proved that he could, like their first few years in Cleveland, that he was able to take a crappy team to the finals.
He could take anyone to the fucking finals.
You know what I mean? Like he took that shitty Cleveland Cavaliers to the championship. LeBron James had no help for the first 6 years of his
See,
career.
if LeBron James was smart, he would have sucked for a couple years, got a couple of the draft picks on his team to help him out.
See, and I think the biggest thing with Tom Brady is he had help around him. Like it wasn't just
Well,
Tom Brady leading these teams.
but that,
He had help around him. LeBron James had help in Miami. He had great teams in Miami. He had great teams in
oh
Cleveland.
yeah,
He has a
for
great
sure.
team in LA as well too. But at the end of the day, nobody has dominated quite like LeBron James in a league that's determined a lot by a lot can happen within an NBA league, you know. Granted, NFL is a one game and done. So like there's a lot that
Yeah,
happen there as well too though. But at the end of the day, Tom Brady's only on the court for or on the field for half the time. LeBron James is on the
but
court the whole
to be
time, you know?
fair, like basketball is probably the only major sport where one player can carry you. Football, there's you just witnessed it the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
Battle lineman, battle line, doesn't matter how good of a fucking player you are. Patrick Mahomes is sideways, slinging balls, hitting people in the face mask, parallel to the field, running around for his life, and couldn't win the game.
And I think
Doesn't matter how good you are in football.
that supports my opinion. Is Tom Brady's had a good team around him to get him to those championship games. Yes, he has performed. Yes, he has
But to,
done what he's needed to. Yes, he's been consistent. Yes, he's 43 years old and still balling. But at the end of the day, it's not just the individual, it's everybody around. LeBron James, no matter what team he's gone to, he's always been the guy, whether it's with Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, whether it's with Anthony Davis,
yeah, but
you know?
Tom Brady still also like maybe not this year with his stacked offense, but the last couple years in New England, he's been the guy. Like he hadn't had
That's fair.
much help on offense. He had Edelman, but like it's not like he had a fantastic team that has good defense. But in the NFL, you can't have one person carry you. It doesn't work. It's not
Hmm.
taught. There's too many people on the field.
Yeah, that's fair.
Basketball, you can have that.
Yeah. And I don't know. I look at the competition LeBron has had to face, and it's not like he's had to play, like shitty competition in the finals and then lost. The only one finals I would say that you can blame him where he's like, hey, you know what? That should not have happened was that first Miami Heat Dallas Mavericks series when
That's
Dallas took
you
him down.
can't have that.
Everything
Can't
else,
have
he's
that.
been an underdog in, minus last year's, I'm pretty sure. Everything else, he's been an underdog in. He had to take on the Golden State Warriors when they were the best team ever. He
Yeah,
took them down 3-1. He came back 3-1 in the NBA Finals and won. Like, that's
it was
ridiculous.
fantastic. Look at that. LeBron's a close second for me.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It all just, for me, I watched a lot more of LeBron James, so I have that more
I don't watch a
feelings,
lot of
more
Tom
emotions
Brady.
attached to it, right? But at the end
Yeah,
of the day, LeBron James has been to an NBA Finals like what, 10 out of the last 11 years, whatever it is now,
yeah, it's something ridiculous, something
12.
stupid at the
That
this
is
number.
domination. If he didn't get fucked over by Cleveland in the first 6 years of his career, imagine like like finally he's in a situation where he's not fucked when Anderson Varejos, or whatever I pronounce his last name, is your center and Delonte West is your shooting guard. And Mo Williams is your point guard.
What a stud team.
The second he lost that team, he's gone to the finals. And like
But
Tom Brady, 10 out of 21 seasons. That's ridiculous. But LeBron James is 11 out of like what, 17
okay,
seasons.
but again, I think it just shows how much easier also because it's the same players and same teams doing it over and over in the NBA. NFL
Hmm.
is different all the time, minus Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the only constant in the Super Bowl.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, because Tom Brady was playing the Super Bowl when Kurt Warner was quarterback. He's playing the Super Bowl when Patrick Mahomes is quarterback, and leading that team. That's a fair point.
Like I'm pretty sure there's people playing in the NFL that weren't even alive when Tom Brady won his fucking
Mhm.
first Super Bowl.
Yeah, and that's fair. Uh, so I think
Either way, they're
fit
both fantastic. Like there's no
both
really
like
wrong answer.
at the end of the day, for me, though, the determining factor is what happens in the next few years. Is LeBron James going to play till he's 43?
I doubt it.
I doubt it too, but like you never
Just
know.
because, but I feel if he wanted to, he might be able to. But he like quarterback, you don't. He's not that physically demanding of a position.
Hmm.
Like he's getting hit once in a while, but not. He's not running around up and down the court all the time.
Yeah, And so, and I think at the end of the day too, when you think about the GOAT debate, you have to take in athleticism, at least a bit. LeBron James kicks
Well, if we're
Tom
going
Brady out of
off
the water.
athleticism, Lamar Jackson's the GOAT, baby. Have you
Okay,
seen that guy's movement on
yeah,
the
that's
field?
true. I've seen him in Madden 21. Fucking annoying to
Yeah,
play against.
you can't even
Um,
beat him.
no. One other thing too that I would like to add to LeBron James' legacy is LeBron James has done a lot more off the court than Tom Brady has done off the court.
What do you
Off
mean,
the field.
TV12, baby? Avocado ice cream, let's get it.
But anyways, though, close debate. At the end of the day, all said and done, once they're retired. I'm
Okay,
not.
you know what? You know what settles
What?
this debate?
Hmm.
Look at Tom Brady's wife.
Yeah, true. LeBron James, man. Like, come on, bro. Oh, that's my high school.
Giselle
That's my
fucking
high school
died.
sweetheart. Oh, she's so hot.
Oh, so what? Okay, remember when you said like if he came on the court and shot people, he would be out of the conversation? What if I meant to ask this earlier? Somehow we got sidetracked. I forgot.
Surprise.
What a surprise! If it came out LeBron James like Floyd Mayweather his wife and beat the shit out of her, how would that change your decision? Like he actually like had to serve time in jail, like a couple months or something.
Yeah, like stuff like that would
Like
definitely
definitely,
affect. That would definitely affect my opinion on him. And it's like Kobe Bryant. Like Kobe Bryant got caught up in that stuff as well too, right? Granted, for him, he was able to go from like his quote unquote hood rat days, right? And then he was able to
yeah.
transform it into something like he took it as a learning example. But if this would have come out now at that age, and I'd be
That'd be
like, oh, okay,
fucked.
never mind. Like you're a little fuck, right? You know what I mean? Kobe Bryant at least had the time to sweep it underneath the rug. As bad as that sounds. As bad as that sounds.
Bro, no one talked about that shit for like ever. And then I seen
Mm,
it brought up when he died. People would bring it up like he was a terrible person. Like, hey, the guy just died. Fuck off.
literally, man. I don't know. I don't want to get in that whole debate because at the end of the day, there's so many opinions, so many different
Yeah.
things that could happen. It's just
I
like,
just I still feel though like at the end of the day, what you do off the court, it shouldn't necessarily take away your accomplishment on the court. Like obviously you shouldn't be celebrated if you're a shitty person, but
to an extent, yeah.
like you shouldn't be celebrating. People shouldn't like say, "Oh yeah, this guy's an awesome guy." Like, no, quite a piece of shit, but
Hmm.
still great. Like Floyd Mayweather,
Yeah.
literally
Hmm.
went to jail for beating his wife. People still fucking love watching him box because he's the greatest boxer of all time.
And that's fair.
Terrible
Yeah.
person.
Terrible person, douchebag. And I think like with regards to like off court behavior, if you have a good behavior, a good reputation off the court, it helps your case. But if you don't have a
Mm-hmm.
good reputation, it just
Like if
doesn't
you're well
necessarily.
liked.
Yeah, it just like it doesn't like necessarily boost. Like LeBron James, his legacy he's left off the court has boosted what he's done. But if he was just like an asshole and prick, like James Harden, like going to the strip club, throwing money on, like doing that stuff,
Hey, he's just.
he,
But why
he
does
would
that
just
make him
be.
a dick? He's just enjoying his life. He has
Well,
money.
I'm not that's fair. I'd be doing the
What
same
would
thing.
you be doing?
The same thing, man. Same thing. But I think it's just when they don't do anything, it just doesn't add. It's a neutral. You know what I mean? It's not like it brings them down as an athlete. It just doesn't affect them. It's just nothing you discuss. It's
Yeah.
nothing you bring up to add on.
Yeah. Okay. So who's your second and third?
So second, Tom Brady.
Okay.
My third. This is wild card. I'm going to say Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Well, that's not that big of a wild card. People call him the GOAT.
Yeah, and I think if you look at raw stats and you look at what somebody accomplished in their career, I think he is the greatest. Because I hate the the when people say, well, LeBron James or Michael Jordan never lost in the NBA Finals. It's like, so why do you penalize somebody for making it to the finals and losing? Like, why is it
Well,
better for you to lose in the second round, third round?
because you, if you win the finals, you're the best. If not, you're not the best.
Yeah, but if you're not
How
in the
many
finals,
championships does
if
Abdul-Jabbar have?
six,
Okay.
he is 6-10 in the
So
NBA
yeah, if you're
Finals. He went
tied,
to the NBA.
if you're tied with someone, then I'd say yeah, whoever's made it more, obviously.
Yeah, well, and then so like he 20-year career, he's leading the league in points. He has 38,000 points.
Yeah.
He averaged
He had a 100
11.2
point game
rebounds.
for fuck's sakes.
That's Wilt Chamberlain, you
Oh
stupid
fuck.
motherfucker.
Same shit. Bunch of tall, lanky black guys.
Literally. You know, like he had 10 NBA final appearances, 5-time All NBA defensive. Big thing though here, 3-time NCAA champion.
Yeah, he dominated in college.
You know what I mean? So
You really like that college stat, hey?
I think it. I think you have to look at that. Look at Tom Brady. He has his championship from.
Michigan?
Yeah, was that a national championship or was that just like a bowl?
I don't know. I didn't know he had what was it? Oh, I can
I don't know.
search
He
it up
won
right
something, I thought, but
there. I don't think
I
he
don't know.
won a national championship, but
Yeah,
to be fair though, too, it's also some people. I guess for the most part, like all superstars, minus Tom Brady, they're they're good at college. But some people like Tom Brady, you could say, are late sprouters.
that's fair. Um, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, speaking of having a shit ton of money, do you imagine being Fernando Tatis Jr., 23 years old, signing a 14-year contract, and baseball money all guaranteed? It's not like
All guaranteed.
NBA, NFL. You get cut. He still gets $340 million no matter what. At age
Okay,
23, he's
so
23.
he's signed on for the rest of his life now. He's just gonna retire after
Dude,
that
he's
contract.
14. I think, maybe
37.
22. He's gonna be 36 when his contract comes up. He can still sign another contract after that and make more money.
At that point, do you just quit?
Dude,
Take the money and run. There has to be some like loophole in
Tom
there. Like
Brady Tom Brady won national championship in the greatest year on earth, 1997.
why is it the greatest year on earth?
Because you were born, I was born, Connor McDavid was born.
Oh,
Connor McDavid will be the GOAT, but what time his career is over.
you think so? Better than Tom Brady?
Depends if they can win a fucking Stanley Cup.
Depends if they go in a playoff series. Is he in his 4th year now? 5th year.
I think so, 5th.
Damn. I remember growing up, I was always like, because you know, you'd see like you have to be born in 1993 to be the youngest player in the video game, 1994. And I was always like, when 1997 is going to be there, I'm going to be in a video game. Now I'm just like, well, they're up to like
Dude,
2001
now
now.
like I watch fucking like NHL draft with people getting drafted that were born in 2002. I'm like, oh my god, this guy was born in the 2000s and
I
is getting
remember like
drafted in the NHL right now.
going to
How
the
fuck?
bar with like I had some like coworkers that were like born in 2000. I went to the bar with them like a year ago. And I'm like, you were born in 2000?
Yeah.
Like,
Are you allowed
what?
in here?
I'm like,
Like,
are
there's
you
no
allowed
way.
in here? It's like 2018. You know, they just turned. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, what is this?
Yeah, we're just a bunch of fucking old men now.
Does that
Okay,
conclude?
I have a question for you.
Okay,
Did
what
you
do you got?
watch the Lakers Nets game at all last week?
Which one? No.
Because I feel like that's gonna be the championship final game. Do you think the Lakers have a shot at beating the Nets or what? Nets are hot right now. And they don't have KD. And they've been beating everybody.
I don't know. I was actually gonna say we should talk about this next week. Like for the topic should be like who's gonna go to the NBA finals. I think that'd be a good
Okay.
one to do. You want to do that next week?
Yeah, I don't know if we can talk about that for an hour.
Well, fuck, it'd be for like
I
20
think
minutes,
the All
whatever.
Star reserve should be out next week, so we can talk about the All Star team.
Yeah. No, yeah, next week
Did
could
you
be like an
see?
NBA one.
Even Doncic said that Dame probably should have been ahead of him.
Yeah. But I like what Doncic said though. He's like, in 10 years, it's not gonna even say if you're a starter or not. It's just gonna say you were an all-star.
No, yeah, that's true.
And that's
I
all that
do you
matters.
like their decision to have the All Star game this year?
I don't know, man. I don't watch the All-Star game. I don't really care for it. I understand the concept of it, but it's just last year the new scoring system obviously made a big difference
Oh, I
because I'd
forgot
watch
about that.
right because I watched previous games before, and
Oh,
eventually I
see,
just
I
got
didn't
tired
watch
of it. I
that.
was like, this is
I watched the
stupid.
celebrity game more than I watched the All-Star game.
Yeah, I'll
Just
watch
because
the
it's
dunk
more
contest. I'll
fun.
watch the 3-point
I
contest.
like the dunk contest.
Me too.
3-point, I'll watch it. Skills
All-Star game.
competition is kind of stupid.
Yeah. And the thing is too,
All-Star game doesn't really matter.
there's no incentive for these players to like try.
Yeah, like the NHL, they started giving out
Like,
cash incentives. MVP won a car.
yeah.
Like at least like give
Mhm.
things for like so that if you win, you donate to charity or something for the team.
Well, I like with
Baseball used
home
to
field
be the
advantage.
winner gets to host.
Yeah.
Like that division would host a World Series. Like you have to give some kind of incentive
I
behind
think
it.
there was an incentive this year though, or
Yeah, I think
last
it's
year at
just
least.
money.
But I don't know. I might watch it this year just because like I didn't watch it last year.
But so I
But
think
last
I
year's was
heard
good.
I think I heard this year they're doing the dunk competition and the 3-point competition at halftime.
That would make sense, honestly. Do it when like
But
everybody's there.
I just think it's stupid. Like why? You can't have fans. That's the whole point of it, is to have fans
Mhm.
at the stadium. Fans there. Like I don't get it. Like no, you already had a shortened off season. If I'm LeBron James, I'm not going. I'm straight up not going. He's carried this team on his back right now without AD. Like fuck you. I need a break. I'm not going to this stupid ass All-Star game.
Yeah, no, but I think what the biggest thing is though is like I don't know. It's just like obviously there should be at least the selections for the All Star game, but I just don't see
No,
like
yeah,
what's the point of risking all these players from different teams coming together all at once?
exactly.
You know, it's
Like
just not worth the risk for what you're getting.
NFL
You're not going
had
to get that huge atmosphere around the NBA All Star weekend like you had before. And if you
like
take a year off, the next year's just going to be that much better.
yeah. Like I don't know what the viewership normally is for the NBA All-Star game. Maybe it'll be up because there's nothing on, but I'm sure it's not gonna be good. Like people, like it's good when you have fans and kids and stuff. They like that, but like
Yeah.
you already had a shortened off season. You're in a fucking pandemic. If someone at the All-Star game gets COVID, like you're fucked.
Mm-hmm. And that would be the worst thing. Yeah, because then, like, I don't know, it's just you only think about the repercussions that that might cause or whatever. But I don't know. It's just
It doesn't make sense to me.
doesn't
Like
make
the
sense to
NFL,
me, to
they
be
had
honest
their
with you.
All-Stars. They didn't have a game.
Mm-mm.
They didn't do fuck all.
Granted, is the Pro Bowl even like a thing? Like,
Yeah.
I think the
Pro
only good
Bowl is
highlight,
fuck.
the only good highlight from the Pro Bowl is when Sean Taylor took out the punter that one time.
Bro, they need to bring back. They're like showing old highlights of like the longer throw competition and shit. They need to bring that shit back.
That was the interesting part. That was the only good thing about Pro Bowl weekend. The game
Like,
sucked.
make them do a bunch of like stupid ass skills competition. Like, I know they do dodgeball and shit. And I'm like, I don't want to watch
Mm-hmm.
NFL players play fucking dodgeball.
No, I want to see them like do like I
The
want to
only
see them do
person
like
I want to
football
watch
drills.
play dodgeball is fucking Matt LaFleur, baby. Average Joe's, baby.
Oh, I'd like to see Marshawn Lynch play some dodgeball, but I would just like to see him do anything though.
I just want to watch Marshawn Lynch run through people. That's it.
True. I was hoping he was gonna get signed up there during playoffs by like Seattle or something.
Ooh. He's done. His
Yeah,
last
he's done.
comeback, he wasn't really that good.
No, he was just for goal line situations. That was it.
He's just a big body. Like he wasn't trained to be in football anymore.
Nah, it was more of just
Okay.
something to do for him.
Also, we still haven't talked about this Carson Wentz trade.
Oh yeah, word. What do you think about it? I think personally, for me, I think it's the best thing Indianapolis can do for their situation. But what do you think?
Yeah, like they had the cap space, and you didn't really have to pay a high price for it. So the second and the third, but the second turns into a first if Carson Wentz plays over 70% of the games. So it's probably going to be a first rounder, but that's still for a starting quarterback. That's fuck all.
Yeah, and like I generally don't think Carson Wentz is a really bad quarterback. I think he was just in a bad situation where it was just a toxic environment around him. You know, they had no O line, and I think for him, he needs a good O line to be able to be that quarterback that he not necessarily shown he can be, but
I
at least
think
be like
like
a competitive quarterback.
dude, if he's even like close to what he was in 2017, Colts are a fucking
Contender.
big player in the fucking the Super Bowl. Their defense is sick. I don't know. Like I think they got to sign some people, but like they have a solid team. And if Carson Wentz plays good, they'll be good. But
No, and
also,
like,
I thought Carson Wentz was gonna be good last year because like normally if you draft someone's replacement, that'll light a fire under someone and they'll play better.
yeah.
But for some reason, Carson Wentz, it looked like he had zero confidence in himself all year. And if he doesn't have any confidence in himself still, you don't have a
Mhm.
shot.
Well, I wonder if it's one of those things where he plays to the level of his team. So if he has a shitty team around him, he's just shitty. But if he has a good team around him, he's gonna play good. Because like the Philadelphia Eagles, like they had a good team when he was there. Like they won
Yeah,
the Super Bowl.
with Nick Foles at the helm.
Yeah,
Big Dick
fair.
Nick.
Big Dick Nick. I don't know. I think for what was out there, I think this is a really good opportunity for the Colts. Like if I was any other team, I would have been
Oh
like,
yeah.
why are you trying to get Carson Wentz shitty
But
contract? But you look at the Colts,
but
it's
also
just like
I
it
think it
makes
was a
sense
good
though.
trade for the Eagles too. Like you get rid of a
Mhm.
big contract. What doesn't make sense to me is I keep seeing that apparently the Eagles are still thinking about taking a quarterback, which I don't believe is true, but I keep seeing
Mhm.
it. I've seen it a few times. I still don't believe it though because Jalen Hurts showed you last offseason that he's good. He can be an NFL quarterback. Like
Oh yeah, 100%. Like he is. I think he's a quarterback that you can look at and be like, okay, well, I think we can build a future around him.
yeah,
He's not like a Josh Rosen where you're just like, oh fuck, well that was a bust. You
yeah,
know, like he's a quarterback and he's been out there and he's proved himself. You're wrong. I think what the Eagles need to do now is just build a good team around him and try and get back to the Super Bowl.
yeah. I mean, he just got to get past Taylor Heineke and the football team, and they got a shot at the playoffs.
The football team.
Bro, how stupid is it that they still not gonna have a name next year?
So I was looking into the Washington Redskins and their owner who like gave them the name the
Whoa,
Redskins.
whoa, whoa, whoa! You cannot say that.
What?
That is very that name.
Oh, the Redskins. He,
No, that's
so
very offensive, dude. You
so
cannot be saying that.
what happened with the owner? He was the last owner to not
Like Dan
allow black.
Snyder?
No, like the
Oh, before?
former old,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
from before he died, for the Washington football team. He um he was the last football team to include black people on the roster. He said I'll never sign a black person, but then since their stadium was on federal land, um John F. Kennedy said, if you don't integrate and add black people to your football team, we will not allow you to play a game in your football stadium because we own the land. It's like in the
That's
70s.
wild.
I read that and I was just like, I can see why they were named the Washington Redskins now.
Like, if any of the names, Redskins and Indians probably most offensive. Eskimos? Don't know who's offended by that other than white people on the internet.
Yeah, okay, that's a huge debate because I've talked to my dad about it. And my dad was like, "Oh, like they talk to people up north, right? Granted, there are a certain population of indigenous folks that are offended by it, but he's like,
Yeah,
there's
it's a
also the
very
people
small
that,
group of them.
yeah, but then he was just like, there's also a group of people that take like great pride in that name,
Yeah.
and
So
it's
I
like,
work with the native guy. That's all he talked was, yeah, man, the natives love it. Like, they fucking like Indians, Redskins, Chiefs, they love all of them.
oh really?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. I listened to a podcast and there was it was some Mexican food like hot sauce, and I forgot the name of
You
it, but
see the
it was like Uncle Jose's hot sauce or whatever, just to be racist and make a name up. And so there's a petition to take it down because due to racism and change the name of it and change the character of the person.
so
And when they looked at the demographic of it, 93% of the people who signed this petition were
we're
white
white.
people.
Yeah. That's so fucking stupid. Doesn't make any sense. White people, you sure have to be of that ethnicity to take part in that fucking survey. That's
Yes.
I don't understand how
Mm.
any other person is allowed to have an opinion on it.
But
Doesn't even
it's
make
like,
sense to me. Like if indigenous people got outraged over the Indian Eskimos, I would be okay with it. Pissed you, but it's not like they make
yeah.
offensive logos with like natives or anything.
Like
But so have
we
you?
got rid of the igloo. Like that was,
Yeah,
I can see maybe that being, I
yeah.
don't know how
We
though.
have a
It's a
fucking
picture.
polar bear and a fucking football as our mascot.
Literally. Are
Did
they
you
gonna bring
see?
back
Okay, wait.
Naduke?
First of all, did you see the new Aunt Jemima syrup bottle? It's like Old Mills something company.
No,
Is
I
it?
saw a meme for it though.
No, but so did you see the Eskimos put out a list of 7 names for fans to vote on for the new team name?
Yeah,
Did you see names?
I saw some of them.
So in my opinion, they're all fucking dog shit.
Apparently, I heard Elks is gonna be it.
So Elks was a very popular one because I think that's what apparently they used to be called or something.
I think so. Yeah,
I really fucked with Empire, but
that was a good
somehow
one.
that's fucking offensive too.
How? What?
I don't know. People were upset. All I heard was people were upset with that name too, because something to do with fucking like Roman Empire's trying to fuck take over shit. That's what
Oh my
I don't
god.
know how true that is. That's what I heard. And then I also liked Energy. That one wasn't bad. It
But
was
that's their basketball
okay.
team name though.
Is it? No,
Yeah, it's also not like a professional league's name. It's more of
it's
like an
not.
underground.
But so here's what we came up with instead: the Edmonton Evergreens. I'll fucking kill myself if that's what our team is. I will not cheer for that team. Edmonton Eagles, very much a minor sports team name.
Yeah.
Edmonton Elkhounds, don't know what the fuck that is. Edmonton Eclipse, why the fuck is that even an option?
Yeah.
Edmonton Evergolds, not the worst one on the list, not fucking great.
The Evergreens and the Evergolds.
Yeah, Edmonton Elements, the fuck does that even mean?
Hmm.
And Edmonton Elk, which I voted as my number one option. So they had
Yeah.
they had it so you rank your 1 to 7. I went elk hounds, and I think I went fuck. These are so bad. Either Eagles or Eclipse. Switch them. Evergolds, Evergreens, and Elements lost.
I like the name Eclipse, but it has nothing to do with Edmonton. Like absolutely
Like
nothing.
it, the reason was something to do with fuck something to do with our sun. It didn't make any sense to me. Evergreens is just fucking stupid. They just wanted include green. Same thing with Evergolds. Like
Hmm.
elements, I don't know why that's a fucking option. Eagles was the last time you seen a fucking eagle in Edmonton.
That's a good point.
Elk, I don't know what
Actually,
that would be.
we saw some eagles over by our area taking out
Really?
an elk. Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
or
did
a
you see a
deer.
fucking meteor this morning,
Ooh, I saw the video of it. I saw the video of it. I was like,
bro? I was like half asleep driving the white, but all of a sudden the sky's blue. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, there's no way that's lightning. Like, what
I
the fuck just
swear that was
happened?
not the edible cookie I ate this morning.
I was so confused. Like,
I'm,
there's no way that was lightning in
I
the
remember I was coming
wintertime.
back from one of my football games and I was driving down 50th going southbound and then I saw my left window I saw it and I was just like, what the fuck was that? Aliens are coming, bro.
Bro, I thought for a second, I'm like, maybe the aliens are coming, boys, finally.
Dude, I have an alien story to tell you.
Oh boy.
So it
How long is
was
this podcast so far?
probably an hour and hour and a half. No, not an hour and a half,
I think hour 15. Yeah, we're good.
probably. Um, so it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was like 1 a.m. I just finished my show on TV, and I was going to bed, and then you just hear this like weird humming. And it wasn't repetitive. It was very just random. It would just go, come, go, leave. Like it would just be on and off, on and off. And it wouldn't do anything for 3 minutes. And it sounded like it was
Did you
just
time it
coming.
out specifically for 3 minutes?
No, just no, not really.
Okay. Okay.
But it was very quiet though, and you need to be really quiet to hear it. And it was just sketchy, and it happened for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes in total, probably. And it was, I don't know, it was just weird, and I thought it was the aliens coming. It was
That's your
just
whole
a
story. That was very anticlimactic.
dude. It was just for like 2 a.m., 1 a.m., whatever time it was, middle of the night, and there was just these weird vibration, and then like just coming from outside, and you're just sitting there, and you're like,
Are you sure it wasn't like a generator or something?